First of all, thank you everyone for being here. We are starting our City of Laredo Blue Ribbon Committee meeting for people with disabilities. Today is Wednesday, September 17th. And to begin, I just want to see, does anybody have any guests that they want to introduce? Yes, sir.
Yes, we have American Steel from ECI Convenience. Good morning, Ray. Still good morning. Yeah, good morning, everyone. We brought Mrs. Paula Sanchez and Ms. Arlene, what's your last name? Arizola from Texas Home Visitor Program from the SCAN resources. So they're here today, so welcome.
Thank you for being here. We're happy you're here. Anybody else?
Yes, I have a guest, Miss Alice Herrera from Commissioner Tijerina's office is joining us via Zoom because we wanna continue that effort about going and speaking to the sheriff or they told me not district attorney Annalise, but maybe Miss Alice in conjunction with Commissioner Tijerina will give us a push and maybe we can go present to Commissioner's Court on the procedures for when people with disabilities get arrested.
Very good.
So that's why I invited Miss Alice.
Very good.
So welcome, Miss Alice.
Thank you, Alice.
I keep on having trouble with this mute thing. It's that I don't have camera on the computer, so I have to log in through my phone. I do apologize. Can you all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Yes, I am here. Thank you for the invite. And we're here to help in whatever you all need. Commissioner Tijerina is at another meeting, but I am here to get all your concerns and then that way to see how we can move forward and get the sheriff involved. I don't know if he was invited, anyone from his office was invited to this meeting, and maybe that way they can assist as well. Kind of move on, but whatever gets discussed, I will definitely share with the sheriff's office.
We're very happy you're here. There have been some concerns, so we'll get after that in a moment. First of all, the call to order has been called. The approval of minutes for July 16th. Everyone should have a copy. Will you please look over them and give us your results? Are we ready? Yes. Somebody needs to move to a place for me. Yes, I'm waiting for Eric to come back.
I'm good.
You're good?
Yeah.
All right. He was still deep.
Yeah, I'm good, I'm good.
Does
Yeah.
anybody
Okay.
have any changes, corrections? If not, you guys please have a move to approve the meetings as written. Cecilia moves. Second. Thank you. Do we have any public comments today, Ms. Angie?
No public comment.
No?
No.
Okay, thank you. Just to clarify, we're discussing, because we did not meet in August, we were looking over the July minutes. Discussion and possible action, old business. Part A, update regarding, contact child neurologist with Corpus Christi. Do we have an update on that?
I'm still working on it. Remember that she had told me, she had, her supervisors had told her, it's because I was in here before. Her supervisors had told her not to, or to stop negotiations or talking to us because they were getting an influx of patients from Laredo to Driscoll, and they didn't want, problems with our physicians here. So
For the local
with a
physician?
local physician, so I stopped communicating with her, but she's ready, she's still ready. So I'm going to call her every single day again.
And encourage her.
And encourage her to move. And then, I reached out to Alice because I had been reaching out to District Attorney Alanis, and then, one of the attorneys told me, this is not the correct way to go, you need to go through the sheriff. So I went through the sheriff and I left plenty of messages and they never got back, so I was like, I had enough of dealing with, other people, I'm going to their boss.
There you go.
So I went to Commissioner Figueroa. I talked to Alice and, we need to just update her on what it is that we are looking for. So maybe, through Commissioner, we can go to Commissioner's Court and then they can then put the county attorney, the Webb County attorney on this and bring in the sheriff, because we really need to be talking to the sheriff. The police officers, they told me the Laredo Police Department, but we've already talked to the Laredo Police Department, but we could definitely bring him in again.
And just to add to that, I will read from, the meeting minutes from July. Under old business, Miss Alice, we wanted it to inform you that the committee discussed the need, regarding the arrest and detention process involving people with disabilities. Do you wanna add to that? That was our concern.
So the concern came about, Miss Alice, that we definitely feel that the process, but of course we need to be guided by you all, that the process should be different for a person with a disability. And the concern came from one of our young adults was arrested and taken to booking. And he really didn't know what was going on, okay? He was happy. I believe he went through the whole process. Mom was hysterical because they were gonna place him in a booking cell with other individuals. And he of course didn't know. He's 21, I believe, okay? But when he got out of there, after they reached bond, he came out of all that experience taking selfies of himself with a police officer from Laredo Police Department from the mental health unit. So really, he wasn't capable of understanding the severity of what was going on. So we wanted to see if together we can change the process. Definitely, if it warrants an arrest, definitely, but maybe modify it in some way, the way we modify our instruction at school.
Exactly, just so that we're both educators and oh hi, how are you now? We're coming from a framework of modification, adaptation, and the rights of people with disabilities who have a right to have these modifications and these adaptations if they need it. And in this instance and some others that we discussed, it appears that we need to address this for the city of Laredo. And that's the spirit that we approach you with. And we also, as you said, we've been trying many different routes to try to start the discussion. So again, we're so appreciative that you are here with us, Ms. Herrera. Thank you.
No, thank you for reaching out to Commissioner Tijerina. So just to recap, what you all like is the process when a person, with a disability gets booked. Is that correct? Because the PD arrests them, and then when they go, because they get processed at the police department, and
Right,
then they get sent over to the jail. It's the jail part that you would like to modify.
yes, yes, uh-huh. Because of the containment of them, and the thing with this particular individual, he wasn't taken to Laredo Police Department because it happened at LC. So that police department took care of it. Well, according to them, they took care of it, right? But they just arrested him at home and took him straight to Webb County. So we were
Okay.
told, when we met with the Laredo Police Department, we were told if it had come to us, it would have been different. The way that he was booked and processed, but it didn't. So just that part, I think we start with that part of the booking system, and then we'll extend it to other places. But we just
So
needed a foot
maybe-
in there, Alice.
Go ahead.
We just needed, our committee just needed a foot inside so that you can guide us, because I understand, it's gonna be a big accomplishment, but it's for the betterment of our citizens, that's what it's for. So if you can relay this to the commissioner and you can help us out, we would really, really appreciate it.
Ms. Herrera, we don't have the answer. What we're seeking is a discussion, because, and all of us are bilingual here pretty much, hablando se entienden las cosas. So we're hoping that maybe we can start the conversation so that we can come up with maybe, an adaptation or modification to support people with disabilities as needed going forward.
Well, I am aware that, our sheriff's department does have a mental unit. So I think that the language is here, reaching out for the commissioners to reach out to the sheriff's office and follow up and asking, what is the protocol that they take? What are the steps that they have? Because like I mentioned, they do have a mental unit department. So I don't know what happened in this situation, that they would need to look at it, where that needs to be clarified a little bit better. What is the process? Like we mentioned, the Laredo Police Department has a booking process that if it had gone through them, they would not have gone through over there. It's different, they would have ended up somewhere else. So now it's a matter of when they get to the county jail with the sheriff's department, when they get over here to the jail, then what is the protocol there? Finding out if there is a protocol there, because like I mentioned, I know that the sheriff does have a mental unit department.
If I may add, my name is Cecilia Gutierrez, I'm Secretary to UNA. I think sometimes when individuals come in with disabilities, we always think about mental, but it's a broader sense. We have individuals with autism, IBD, different disabilities. So in looking at that, maybe looking at the procedures that are currently in place, and then identifying maybe different sections. Let's suppose that someone comes in and they do have a mental condition, you address them. But maybe if it's someone with maybe IDD, which is an intellectual disability, it's addressed differently. So we accommodate to the need rather than say everyone's gonna go in a basket, because all we wanna do is consider the individual.
Correct, yes, definitely.
So we started the conversation thanks to you and thanks to Donald. So I guess the next step is, could we count on you to report back to us at the next meeting so that we have more information as to what is in place already?
Yes, of course, after this, I will, update the commissioner and let her know. And, I don't know if she's gonna wanna do a one-to-one meeting with the sheriff or his staff to discuss this, or if she would like to host a meeting and invite you all, maybe not the whole committee, maybe the chair and maybe someone else, to have that small one-to-one dialect, back and forth, discussion. And then at that point, what would be the next step? Either would you meet with the whole committee, or maybe the sheriff has a process in plan, or will start working in something or modifying. So I think the first step will be me, Commissioner reaching out to the Sheriff's Department, and like I mentioned, whether or not just to have a meeting with him and maybe your chair and your vice chair, or in regards to this, something simple and get the dialogue going, and then move forward to meeting with the whole committee.
That sounds great. Just, if you'll please contact us and,
Yes.
let us know when, where. We'll be
Yes.
very happy to be there.
Okay, I did receive an email from Ms. Angelica Flores. Do I reply to her?
Yes,
when,
please.
in regards to this discussion as to when the meeting can take place? Or does Ms. Flores want to send me who would be the two people that are gonna be part of the meeting? Maybe she can email me, who I can reach out to once a meeting is set, whether it's the commissioner, the sheriff alone, or the commissioner, the sheriff, and members of your committee.
Angie's the appropriate person because she has everyone's email, so she can shoot us an email and let us know where we are in the process.
Perfect, great. I will definitely reach out to her once, the communication has been made. And hopefully, maybe something by next week, or as early as next week.
That sounds
There
great.
we go, Miss Alice. I was about to tell you, we don't have to meet, we don't have to wait until our next month's meeting. We wanna do this, and you're saying a week, we'll be waiting.
Right, as soon as we can get a confirmation meeting with the sheriff, the commissioner, and then of course your board member, like I mentioned, I think that the smaller group, one-to-one dialogue can get started, and then eventually, of course, either reporting back to the big committee. And that way it kind of moves forward now, and it doesn't have to wait till next month.
Thank you.
Perfect, perfect.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Miss Alice. You can join us for the meeting, you can stay here with us, but thank you so much for
If
joining
I
us.
can excuse myself, that
Yes,
would be
ma'am.
great.
You'll be never busy.
Like as you saw, I was on a couple of phone calls, we had an issue in one of our Loya areas, so I do apologize for that, I thought I had muted myself.
Thank you,
We
sir.
heard everything, Miss Alice.
But we
No,
know it's being recorded. It
no.
has to be confidential, so it's okay.
Thank you so
Miss
much.
Herrera. Have a
Thank you.
blessed day.
Pleasure to be here, and hopefully we can address it sooner than later.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Okay, so we've got A and B taken care of. Thank you, Ms. Aldana. Thank you, Ceci. Thank you, Domina. Okay, new business, discussion and possible actions regarding BRC yearly strategic plan. What do y'all wanna do on that? Is there discussion regarding that? No? Then we'll move on. Presentation reports and updates on public health autism surveillance program by, Ms. Ramos Perez. There you are.
My name's Denise, Gracia Ramos, my supervisor, she was out at the moment, so I'll be taking her place, but I will give the updates. Okay, go ahead. She wanted to inform the updates of, we have official partnership with Duval County, co-op has been finalized, so that will be like another county that we will also hopefully in the future do data abstraction. We have, of course, other updates of abstraction, which is Roma ISD, Duval County, and Laredo ISD. Those are the ones that abstraction has currently ongoing at this moment. Complete collaboration with Laredo ISD. If CDC would like to continue this work, a future partnership with TEA will be sought. And lastly, would be, if it's approved by the WIC state representative, we will be working very closely with WIC to do a milestone tracker app. Also a business card promotion, which will just include like a QR code and will help, spread awareness and keep track, of course, of the child's like milestones. That's something in the future. So far those are our latest updates.
It's very important. Sometimes, a person will wonder, if my child is meeting the milestones, and that would be very helpful, along with all the other things you're doing. Thank you for the report.
May I ask a question?
Sure.
What was the part about TEA?
I'm not quite certain on that. I know she mentioned it very, very little to me. I believe it's something with the CDC. She just said that it's something that they're working on in a future partnership. That's all she basically said. I'm
She
not-
said something about that she was working with LISD and USD, but she would like to go at, I guess, the state level for Texas Education Agency. That's all right, I'll go on to B.
Yes, yes.
Report on family support for children and young adults with special needs program updates by Kathleen Chavez on behalf of Carmen Andrade.
I'm here for Miss Kathleen and Carmen. They had other, somewhere else to be. But we just wanted to report that, we're opening our 2 new sensory rooms this next week, the first one, and then on October 16, we're opening the second one. I'm gonna pass out the formally invite you guys to.
Thank you.
So you all can attend. So we're opening, our first one next week on Thursday at 11 at the Carlton Library, 2nd floor, at 11 a.m. So that way, hopefully you all can join us. We're gonna do a little ceremony and then, so y'all can explore it. And then we're opening our second one at the South Library by Cigarro, the Soul Pretender, October 16th. So, and here, this is the one for this one. There's 2 different ones. We're finally opening them up, so we're really excited.
We're excited too, it's great. Well, we're on 6. Moving on, announcements and open discussion, adjournment and next meeting. Okay, or do we have any announcements for today, other than the?
I have some. This one goes, yes, Garvin. I'm passing out some stuff. I think there's 3 right here. And you send y'all 5 in I'm Denny Sanchez of Parks and Rec, and there's like a packet of 3 papers. So, and I'll say just to sort of update y'all what we're doing. So first of all, the White Cane Committee was not able to be here today, but we've been working on our White Cane event, which is, oh, there, Amy's here, sorry. Amy's here. Sorry, it said Martha was gonna come and present. She wanted to come and present, but she couldn't make it. So the White Cane Committee, it's ourselves, UISD, LISD, the Blind Children's Program, Workforce Solutions. We are working together to create a very fun event. I hope everyone can join us on October 17th. It's in the morning. It includes a white cane walk in which some persons can choose to be blindfolded and experience the nature walk as some of our, community members who are visually impaired. It's a nature walk around the outside, the back side of Haynes. And then I have different adaptive activities that are going to be after that in the gym at Haynes. It's going to be a great morning. LIC and UISD are working hard with us to make sure that there's some very cool things that are happening with our kids. It's just a great event. And even though this is an event for the visually impaired, I believe that all of our groups should join us because, we're all working in the same place to create opportunity to do more, to be seen in the world, right? So it's going to be a feel-good time, I promise you. It's also going to be a mayor's proclamation that day. So I think it'll be well worth your morning. I don't know if there's anything I'm missing, Amy.
No, I know that
Yeah.
we're still in the planning stages, so we'll be meeting weekly to update any, but I think you already have the skeleton of the agenda already.
Yeah.
pretty
It's,
well set.
and we have, kiddo, yes, sorry, those are for your group. We have kiddos who are gonna be presenting during this, event, so it's really meant to be about the kids. Also, we're gonna be sending out information to vendors who wanna set up a table in our gym, so, we'll be sending that out probably today or tomorrow, but if you're interested, come see me afterwards, I'll just write your email down. We just want as many people out there as possible, it's gonna be a fun event. So that's one of the pages. The other one is, as you know, here at Haynes, we've been growing our adapted inclusive recreation division. And we do have John Ruiz, who is a part-timer in my division. We're two now. And he is a personal trainer. He does different things. So, and he is very well versed in wheelchair sports and adaptive sports. And so we are going to start, we're working on our fitness groups, our fitness classes. So starting October, we're going to trial run October, November, December, January, the first Saturday of every month, and it'll be about 45 minutes. So all ages, adaptive, it's all abilities. So, you know, he does a very good job making sure there's a little something for everybody. It'll be about a 45-minute class. It's gonna be all ages. We'll take anyone who comes in. Yeah, we wanna just expand and see what we need, right? So let's see who shows up, see where the need is. And he can accommodate for anyone. And, but also it's good for everybody. So feel free to join us. You do have to be a rec member to participate in those. Also, we have one more pool party. Where we're flowing. Hey, I could just give a shout out to LC because they're not here, but they have been very cool about lending us their pool. We have a bunch of pools, and I love our pools with Parks and Rec, but the LC pool is a big pool. It has a great ramp. I like that it's 3 to 4 feet, and you know, it's just a fabulous. They've been wonderful. This is open to the public. It's an adaptive pool event, so this is all ages, but it is for persons with disabilities plus a guest. So. And again, LC has been incredible. Our aquatics team will be there as lifeguards, and also we have water aerobics because I get a lot of calls about that. And we are continuing to expand what we do at Haynes and with Parks and Rec. We have an adaptive park that is almost done at La Ladriera area, which is behind LC. I'll be sending y'all information on that. It's very cool, and the park is phenomenal. And so we're missing stuff like the shading. That'll be our next phase of it. That's just a really, you know, it's a tough expense to put out there, but we're working on it. And one of them, there's actually 2 new areas. So one of this is wheelchair accessible. Actually, both of them are wheelchair accessible. The other one has a different feel at the bottom. Yeah, it's a different, so it's still, they say it's wheelchair accessible. I'm like, let's go try it out. But it's a sensory friendly park. It's so cool. Phase 2 is coming right along over there in North Central. And again, we're still looking at more shading for that. The second phase comes with shading as the first one did, and we are looking at possible fencing because that has been some of our responses to kids who elope and, you know, safety issues. We want to answer the need for that. So that wasn't budgeted, but we're working on that. So good stuff are happening, and if y'all have ideas or think of other things where we can fill the gaps, please come see me or call me or email me because you know, we're still in that infancy phase of figuring out what is going to work for our community. There's a lot of Halloween events happening. Oh, sorry.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
No, it's because we've been trying to write a grant to help the city of Laredo. Our organization has been trying to write a grant to help the city of Laredo because in these wonderful parks that we have, and we love them for our kids, we need communication boards. I don't know if you've seen them, Miss Jenny.
Yes.
It's a giant communication board. It's a 4x8 communication board, and the nonverbal kiddos would say, you know, would point to restroom, or I want to go on the swing, or I want to go down the slide. Okay, isn't that wonderful? They have them in other.
Yes.
So we have 2 of them, needing 2 communication boards. I wanted a whole one at the North Park, and then remember that we also have a little one at Robert De Llano Park.
Yes.
And I wanted a tiny one. They range from, the tiny one was gonna be $1,000, but the other ones are like $3,000. Okay, but it's something for our children to communicate.
Excuse me, shouldn't the grant include several?
Yes,
Because it's
yeah.
a very
Yes.
large part,
That
I don't
is-
want it just
But
on
I'm working
play.
on the grant, but
I
the
love
city of
that
Laredo.
you brought that up. Thank you.
I do it myself.
The only talk is what count, they're doing this free service and maybe they can help you.
Miss Anita,
The Small Business Association
Okay.
also.
Yes, Miss Anita.
She's very good.
So yes, Miss Jenny.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. Thank you. That is such a good point. And again, you know, when I talked to parks, I did my needs assessment early on, and that was a couple of comments that I got, like, you can have the best park in the world, but I can't go because my kiddos elope and it doesn't feel safe.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like they even thought of that, right? And, you know, it comes from a good place, but they didn't think of it. So it was really important that we got that feedback and, we're able to answer the need, you know. The Diana Park, I love it, by the way. That's, actually, I love that park. It's small and manageable. And, we're working on adding additional features to that park. So, and by the way, 12 playscapes are gonna be replaced throughout our parks. You know, our parks are old, so we have over 120 parks in general.
TLC.
So, yeah, we're working on some TLC this year. So, you know, we are, and as we move forward with creating new parks or making adjustments, you know, we're, moving forward with a different set of eyes, right? With some more awareness, some more mindfulness, and, we're gonna do better. So, you know, again, come to me if you have any ideas. We've been looking at even adaptive tennis areas since we have, you know, that at Haynes. And it was actually popular during our sports week, our camp, summer camp. So we're moving and shaking. So, and the other thing that has come to me is, in fact, on my way here, there's a lot of Halloween events happening throughout the October. I'm gonna try to make sure everybody knows what's happening. There's just a ton of cool events happening. But, and there'll be at least one or two that are for kiddos with disabilities. But I know that people are still wanting something that's low stimulation, sensory friendly, not a big thing. So I'm looking at possibly hosting something at Haynes that's a small, less stuff, you know. So if anybody's interested in that, let me.
Coach, I just want, may I call you Coach?
Sure, yes.
I want to thank you for all your hard work. Your heart's
you.
really in it, and I appreciate you.
Thank you.
I know everybody does.
Yeah.
I know everybody does.
I just want to say that my son attended the camp, the sensory camp that you have, and he loved it. He loved it so much. He built so much confidence that when you had the basketball camp, that he asked us just to drop him off. He didn't want us there, and so he went into the basket.
Yeah, I appreciate that, and you know, we're just sort of working on the backs of all the parents who've been doing this by themselves for so long.
Yes.
So it's sort of like welcome to the party, you know. So for the Parks and Rec, it's about time we stepped up to the plate a little bit.
Yeah.
But you know, parents have been doing the work, and we're just trying to answer the best we can. But the other thing is hiring people who are qualified, highly qualified, and not just anybody. So it's cost us a different, you know, amount of money, but it's been worth it, and it's important that we do the right thing, and that we be intentional. I was blessed to have a great staff, and we will do that again next summer.
You know, I have a suggestion as past director of special ed at LISD. Perhaps with your contacts with the public schools, you can get contact information from like adaptive PE coaches who have retired. And I can think of two that retired, and they are, you love them.
Well, I've actually been, I'm gonna steal two of them during their summer program. I'm like, haha, suckers, you know, but I'm taking them to parks. But, you know, the other thing we're doing is working together. Who do you wanna work with this summer? Okay. You guys break from the school system. I mean, I've been working on them. But anyway, what we're doing collaboratively is coming up with stuff like, for instance, goal ball. Goal ball is a Paralympic sport for the visually impaired. That is not an easy sport to pull together, but it's important because our visually impaired community doesn't really participate in a lot of recreational activities.
That's right.
And so we need to provide like access and give them, you know, opportunities and resources, right? So we can do that best by working together with the school districts to create those opportunities. So at the White Cane event, we're gonna have beat baseball. We're pulling that mess all the way from like Austin. You know, we've got a truck going to Austin to pick it up. So the goal is to provide, you know, opportunities, and working with UISD and LISD, we're gonna collaboratively come up with something that is gives more groups of kiddos an opportunity to see what's out there, looking at our Paralympic sports or Special Olympics.
See, a lot of times low incidence disabilities don't get the attention. I mean,
Right.
because there's very few, you know, like I say, us, I guess, there's very few people with that. So it's, you don't provide as much usually, so I'm glad you're reaching out to do that.
And well, you know, and what we found out is I met with USTA, and I'm sorry I'm taking time. But like for instance, let me just tell you this example is that our tennis coaches, our adaptive coaches, they can go to this tennis training for persons with disabilities for $20 in San Antonio.
Wow.
For an 8-hour training, and they get lunch, okay? So that's, you know, USTA, like, yeah, like, they're committed to, and that's for the wheelchair community, they also do one for IDD, they also do one for the visually impaired, and those trainings are $20. So we're not talking like we can't, it's not accessible, we just didn't know that we could go there or find it. $20 with lunch, man, I'm in. So it's the day after our white paint event, so you know I'm gonna try to make it down there. But isn't that neat? Like we just have to keep on working together to like pull the resources.
For sure.
Yeah.
Thank you so,
Thank you.
appreciate you. Is there anyone else that has any? Yes, sir.
Yes, yesterday we had like, till now, yesterday we had our first commitment between MBU and the Cherry Center. But the very committee with about 10 students of the Cherry Center will be working at MBU, the IT department.
That's awesome.
So it was super nice, and the kids up in the front, they had the commitment letter, they read it, they signed it, they took a picture, then they walked into the MBU IT department. They're working on PowerPoint
That
and
is so
pictures,
cool.
so it was so nice.
That is good stuff.
Pictures,
Because
how,
pictures that station
how
come out in
does
that.
it, because people need to see that.
MBU was very supportive. It was, that's the.
Nothing gives you more success than success, so if you can publicize, you know,
And it was
what's
very
good
like the
work.
students, we had, they said double caps, we put them on, and it was, and
Sign
they
it,
signed,
I'll take it
whole player, baseball, and they signed the letter.
That's
We're
beautiful.
moving forward, so that we take steps.
Congratulations.
Thank you, I mean, you're really supportive.
That's beautiful, thank you so much for that. Do we have any other announcements?
Yeah, she does.
I have tons of announcements.
Yes, ma'am, you do.
Okay, so this is the LISD trustee hat on me today, right now. When we talk about sensory rooms, our schools in LISD, elementary, middle, and high, all have sensory rooms now.
Wow.
Yeah. We got there. So everybody's using their sensory room, and we wanted the sensory rooms to be next to, and I'm talking to, Amy's right here to correct me if I say something wrong, but we wanted our sensory rooms to be really close to the rooms where our kids are at. We didn't want the teachers to be off the kids. And then, now that we're talking about the Sheriff Center, we're gonna have a transitional center too.
Really?
Wow.
Where they doing it?
Okay, we're gonna do it at Old Figueroa Middle, and has it's old, the building is old, but it has a brand new wing. Okay, 2 wings that are probably 5-10 years old, right, Miss Lee?
Yes.
And that's where we're gonna do it.
That's
And we're thinking maybe at the end of the year, or by next year, it's gonna be up there.
Wow.
Okay, so yay!
Very
I
good.
heard it. So we'll be partnering with Tammy Lou soon too, Ms. Tran.
More success.
What's acceptable to students?
That's fantastic.
So yes, I had to throw that out there because good things are happening.
Yes.
You know
Any
what?
other announcements?
I think that parents need to know that when we talk about sensory rooms, we automatically assume it's for kiddos with autism, which of course it's really important that we have, they have access to that. But it's for any kid that has had, early childhood traumas or sickness or illnesses. And so even as, you know, parents get to get this information that if they have a child who's survived cancer or different things like at an early age, they need access to these sensory rooms as well. And I think it's important that our school districts and our teachers and stuff are aware of the different kiddos they have who could benefit
You
from
know,
sensory
you're
room.
right, and as far as programming for, people and children with special needs, we can get into the pattern of, oh, IDD, yes, we give these services, you know, or such and such, we give these services, and we become more tunnel vision. We put them in buckets,
Yes.
and we have to be more creative and truly identify and provide individual needs, which is what we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Individual
It's
needs.
it's good that we continue to remind the community about that, is that, you know, we, you know, because again, the school systems are working through a lot, I think we have to advocate
Yes, because we even said, and these rooms can be used for a teacher, because teachers sometimes.
Oh,
they
yes,
need
we
it
can
for
get
aid.
very,
Yes.
Yeah, so when
Yes.
the kids are not there, it's like, here I go, teacher, let me go
yes,
sit in
yes,
the beanbag.
yes, yes.
Very good.
We're not limited to regular.
Yes, ma'am?
I want, we talk about working with community all the time, and we talk about the things we do. I'm always out in the streets doing something, and, I had the pleasure of being at a business that was so embracing. I mean, I left there and literally sat in my car and cried, and I'm being serious. I went to the Embassy Suites. Embassy Suite has partnered with the Cherish Center, and they go in, and the kids go in, and they learn a skill, because there's a skill, it's a transferable skill. I had a situation where I had a young lady who was visually impaired, I'm not visually, but hearing impaired, and she needed a job. And so I outreached a friend of mine who I thought had a hotel. I mean, usually things go like that. A long story short, I ended up at the embassy. I talked to them, they sat down with her, they asked her what she wanted to do, and she says, I'm housekeeping, I'll try it out. Well, they tried it out, it didn't work out with her because it was really hard, okay, and a lot of work. I mean, you don't realize how much work people goes into a bed, but there is a lot of work that goes into it. So she resigned. However, I had another young man, and they were needing someone to do breakfast. And the agency, although they had, the embassy, even though they lost someone who didn't last more than 4 days, they were willing to hire someone else, okay? Not only were they willing to hire, but they were so accommodating. They didn't give charity, and I say that because they didn't remove the elements of responsibility. They modified and they accommodated so that the person could there's a difference, okay? Accommodation finds a way to do the same job at a different pace. Modification removes the responsibilities. And I look for accommodations rather than modifications. I was elated to know that even though we had one fail, as the world would see it, we had one success that changed someone's life. The reception from Laura Martinez, from the Embassy Suites, so if you ever want a place to stay, that is the place to be, okay? Because it was phenomenal. And I constantly knocking on doors. And sometimes we get rejections, and sometimes we don't hire those people, sometimes we get people that say, well, let me think about it, are they a danger? And all those things come through. There was not one bit of reluctance in that employer.
Beautiful.
So I want to shout out to the embassy.
Sweet.
Very
Yeah,
good.
we need more employees. Not only that, but I texted Mr. Chamberlain, Dr. Chamberlain, I said, hey, you need to reach out. They reached out to them. They signed on for the All Kinds of Minds program. They're gonna be doing the training, so we need more employers like that. And we need to recognize them.
Yeah. I think what we need to do is get you together with all our parents that have businesses, okay?
That's
Because
great.
Laura's just an example of
Yeah.
that.
We have an interview tomorrow at, I've been hitting the places that provide services to individuals with disabilities. I said, you can't just provide services, you need to include it. So I have an interview tomorrow with a person who owns a business. And I said, if you are going to be inclusive because you're receiving your funding from these individuals who come, then consider the possibility of hiring. And she said, well, let me take it to my board. They came back, they said, yes. The young man has an interview tomorrow. Today he is taking care of his suit, because he's gonna go in a suit that he's been waiting 5 years.
Wow.
It's his job, it's his skills, he's fully competent,
It's
but
just
he hasn't been open yet, so, yeah, please do.
Awesome.
Very good.
Well,
Very
thank you
good.
for always,
Wonderful.
Ms. Ortega, thank you for always thinking outside the box and coordinating with people like this. I really appreciate each one of you. I don't think I say it enough, but I really appreciate each one of you. You're such a blessing. Yes, sir.
Yes, I would like to share with everyone, with the Department of Health. We got in a situation that I think needs to be aware of. I don't know if the Department of Health works well with other hospitals, for special needs, I'm sure you do. Because there was an issue that it came to me that it was an individual who came into a hospital, and a hospital emergency and needing some services. apparently this individual he drew up blood and was alone, deaf, and needed to go to the hospital. So he went by himself. He went by himself, and once he cut in, he was trying to communicate with them. He's able to communicate not well, but see, this be understandable. But at the same time, I don't know what the situation is, because I wasn't there. But the way it was is that they saw the individual trouble. They saw fear, and all he wanted was help me. I was throwing up blood, he's fearing, he's disoriented. He was lucky enough he was able to drive from home to the emergency room. And Lou Picard not able to understand this individual, they fear for their life, per se. And they call their officer, the police officer. So in that situation, he was surprised why the officer there. And he was trying to say, I need you to help me, help me. And the physician, the nurse, I don't know, they didn't touch him, they didn't help him. The police came, I don't question him, but said I don't want help. I'm throwing up, nervous, he's disoriented. So his communication was limited. And for that, they decided, well, they need to send him to the mental unit. Okay, when that happened, everything turns around.
Yeah.
Because they will view them this individual as a mental health issue. You can experience that. So with that, whatever happened, when the communication was a breakdown, they stationed him from here to San Antonio. Okay. Not knowing where he's going, he thinks it's gonna help him. No, they are sent to San Antonio, and what they do there, they will just evaluate. But from San Antonio, they would to understand that he needed to provide interpreters. Okay? But the situation there is that when he was there for 4 days. He was being analyzed, and they finally, one of the physicians said, "You're not supposed to be here." Okay, with communication with the interpreter. So, this individual came back to Loretto, okay, with the assistant of San Antonio program, I don't know what it was. But in the meantime, came to San Antonio, that's what I found out, able to guide them, provide them to appropriate services. And he was not treated, period. And it was a misunderstanding. So apparently what ends up that this individual decided he left Laredo, period, and within a week. And that day that he occurred, before that week, he moved. Okay, because he was scared. Fear. Okay. Now, there are other stories that add to that, but I think what I need to know is who do you communicate with the hospital? I know usually when I work, first thing I go, social worker. Okay, then you have the information, this individual needs an interpreter, his communication is this, with the issue. And I'll put in there. Hope they go through it and understand. They provide access for this individual. But I'm not there, you're not there, okay? So those who understand. My concern is, where is the appropriate person or contact or provide info to provide access to communication or understanding that how, well, I don't know. To me, it is ignorant, not recognizing the person's need.
Yeah.
Okay? This is a deaf person.
Yes.
think of another person with disability, we're not a serious mental health issue.
Our parents go through that.
And
Yes.
Our parents go.
it happened, and one of the things I'm glad with Laredo is that the Laredo, police department has a mental health unit, which is important to me with 5 years ago. And I made issue of it, and finally they have it, it's been 4 years now, which is important. But there's work to be done.
Yeah.
Because still,
We
you know,
agree.
not
Yeah.
aware of it.
Yes.
And you know, cause I asked him, are you aware of that? He said, no, it's a way you should know,
Mm.
just in case.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking about the hospital.
If I
So I thought I need to share that with you, so you be aware that that happens. And not only with that person, but any other person with
Yeah.
disability.
Yes.
So. you
If I may
capture
add to that, if you're interested and the committee is willing, I have a contact at both hospitals. My father was at the hospital, he passed away in January. And I always take an opportunity, no matter what the situation is, to advocate. And I met a young man, who is in charge at Doctor's Hospital. And what he did is, he asked me about my dad and everything, and it turns out that he knew my brother who worked for the fire department. He used to be a police officer. And so now he's in charge of the hospital. I talked to him about Project Search for Us, which is something that we're wanting to do with UISD. Long story short, he says anything you need. So I'm thinking that maybe we can collaborate with them. And then there's someone at Mercy Hospital also that we can collaborate with and bring them into the picture and say, okay, what do we have to do? These are the different areas that we would want to cover. These are stories that happen, but we don't want them to happen anymore. So, and I know that from both receptions, I think it would be a perfect partnership because now we're bringing it out of that.
Ceci, if I may, could you and Ms. Oblio maybe put your thinking caps on and figure out what we need to do next in that regard?
Yeah, so if I may, of course, I'm at a hospital, right, rehabilitation hospital.
Uh-huh.
And we work very closely with hospitals. But I think here, the first point of contact would be the ER, right? That's where this individual would be taken, or anybody having any type of emergency. So we can start there, right, with those individuals. And even the clinics, right, the ER clinics, those urgent care clinics.
We have a lot of them.
We have a lot of them and growing. But yeah, I'd be happy to lock arms with you all and side by side, see what we can do to.
And I think, and from having done this for 12 years, I believe going top down. And
Yeah.
the reason I do that is because otherwise they have to ask permission,
You waste time.
and it's a waste of time. So,
Definitely, we have to go to the CEO.
Yeah, and so for me,
Yeah.
especially Doctor's Hospital, go from your administrative, so that the directors at the beginning to
And trickle down.
Yeah.
and tell them, and provide them with timelines. We need this timeline, because if not, it'll be 6 months from now.
Or you have to get, by this time. Yeah.
So
that-
having those things, now, another thing that I've heard a lot from employers is, because I know my employers come to the committee, they say, why don't you come and visit me? I know at one time we used to make visits, at different things, so maybe something like that could be, so that we're not just hidden in one room. And we make a visit, maybe not during this time, but maybe every other month, every quarter, we make one visit to a business, highlight them, do whatever it is that brings novelty to what they're doing.
Yes.
And allows them to know that we are not just expecting them to come to us, we will go to them. And it makes a difference.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree.
I also have something to say. I was waiting until everybody was more or less finished, but along the lines of what he's saying, well, first of all, I want to say thank you to all the people that have made a big difference in Parks and Recreation. It's been a wonderful summer like never before in Laredo. It has been the hardest part, I think, for this last summer has having to make a choice. Which camp do we want to go to? Which this do you want to, it's been a wonderful experience this last summer. And thank you.
Thank
Wonderful,
you.
wonderful. But we haven't been here to these meetings because we've been out of town. But I was along the line of the neurologist that you had started talking about. One of the things that I know that my daughter has been running into is parents that have 2- and 3-year-old children that are asking for help because they've noticed something in their child that is not a milestone, they haven't reached a certain milestone. And so they start to wonder, where can I take my child? How can I get more information? And so along the lines with the ER visit with this gentleman, also with the, I guess, I don't know how to say, the autistic community, or how can we get the information that parents need? And I wanted to ask about the neurologist, is that gonna be continued? Is that finished? Or are you going to, have more physicians come in?
I will reach out to her again. Remember, her superiors had put a offer on this. What she wanted to do was come to Laredo and educate
Yes, we
our physicians on what the signs to look for.
Also,
Okay.
if I could make a suggestion, even, some type of a meeting or something at the library where you invite the public and you have parents come in and you have a speaker and they can educate the parents also. And it would be wonderful if we could have services here in Laredo. But as far as I know, and correct me if I'm wrong, a lot of people go out of town for services. And it's kind of like that. I don't want anything to do with Laredo. But why? What are we doing wrong? Why are we not focused on our healthcare here in Laredo for, our community?
So I just want to say that the parent that reached out to me, she asked me, I've noticed that, it's her niece. I've noticed since she was 2 or 3 years old, these signs, I know that they're not, it's not normal. So she asked me because she said that she had brought it up to her doctor over a year ago, and the doctor told her, you wait for school. And so this is still happening. This was like a year ago. So this is what,
Usually physicians, all they'll tell you is PDD, and that's it.
And so she's asking me, she's like, well, where do I start? Where do I even start? I don't even know where to go. And so I told her, well, I started at the school, but that's an educational diagnosis. I had to travel to Driscoll to get a medical diagnosis.
Remember I mentioned to you when I met you at the city council when we had the first conference with all team, remember I was talking to you in the years? With us, DCI, we don't need a doctor referral. As long as there's a child that has a special concern, as you as a parent or the grandparents can make that phone call to us and we can start with the process.
Well, I think this little girl, she's now gonna be 4.
Yes.
So they missed that window. So when.
So unfortunately, a lot of physicians will tell you to wait, and we always educate parents. If the parent tells you, if the physician tells you to wait, go ahead and make the call to us and we'll continue with the process of evaluation, regardless if there's a doctor referral or not. So that's the good thing, that with us we can initiate it as soon as possible. And obviously there's a lot of kids in the waiting list, but we do get it moving really fast to get those kiddos assessed and give them the treatment that they need. So.
Well, yes, Eric, you know what, I have a recommendation. So October is Disability Awareness Month, right?
Yes.
October, what it would work, and I can help you if you need my help, to get you on the noon show or the morning show. Just if your organization allows that, right, so that you can promote, kind of just start getting the word out. Maybe we can just do an article, write up to, and get it out there, and let's do it in October, navigating the disability awareness.
You know what, Eric, because we had a pool party for our kids and a grandma was telling me, look at my granddaughter, she exhibits all the signs and she's like 2. She's lining everything up, and I said, did you call DCI? This is a mom of a child, of an adult that has autism, and I told her, did you call DCI? ¿Qué es eso, Mrs. O'Rourke? I said, you have your own child. I'm thinking, right, you went
So
to
then in that case, we need more education.
So we need you. We need you.
This is back to
More education, more
resources.
Yes, resources, but providing a place where, they can go and look. Me personally, I have big faith in our public system. Libraries is the main source where I grew up, with the library being the point where we would all get our information, the library. And I go with my grandkids to the library, and I see I see the kids that are there, I see, how the library has opened and, kids with disabilities are going, they're participating. And, I've also noticed that parents go by the front desk and they look at all the, handouts, but there really isn't much for them.
Yes, I agree.
There really isn't much, and that would be something that would be very helpful to just, provide more education, speakers, neurologists coming in to speak and, just keep adding to the education for our parents.
And it has been my experience, ma'am, traveling this journey for a while. Parents will not seek, any kind of medical or until they leave.
Yes.
It's until it hits home. Because our organization has been here for 25 years and I still get, oh, we didn't know you were here. It's because you weren't looking for me, because
We
you
didn't know
didn't.
you were there either.
Okay, you weren't looking, you weren't, because everything goes out to the schools. So, but if I'm looking at Eric and he's on TV, oh, I don't know who he is, I'll go around and do something else because it's not something that I'm interested in. I'm gonna pay attention to things that are interesting for me, that is gonna help my child. So I think that's also the mentality that we have to put you out there everywhere, in the paper, everywhere, do some TikTok videos, do everything. Because my experience has been like that.
Yes.
It's not until I need, say, heavens forbid, I get cancer, then I'm gonna go look for a cancer person. It's not until I get, to try to do something.
Ms. O'Brien, not to mention the denial component.
The denial.
But Eric, you can speak to that.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
Yeah,
It's like una chancla, maybe another chancla.
Yeah, some parents just wanna wait, because
Yeah,
they
they
just wanna
wanna
wait, but there's a lot of parents that are concerned, and they don't know about it, so.
And our culture says, I was told, espérate un ratito, es el cuate que está solito, no quiere hablar. But my gut said, I see something in there that other people don't.
And can I just say, like, if you Google, how can I get a young child tested for autism in Laredo, right? It doesn't come up, ECI doesn't come up.
No, because we don't
And-
test, for all of them.
No, right,
But,
so-
we do help them out.
Right, so I think that's what
They can
people
be
would
there.
question, is like, how do I get someone tested for all, because that's the question, and that's the parents, right? So, and then it does lead them to the Blue Ribbon Committee, but then the Blue Ribbon Committee, section of our website of the City of Laredo doesn't have any, anything, like any links.
Just wanted to add a link there for
And so I'm wondering if this is something we could do, because it sends me to the Blue
link
Ribbon
for
Committee.
ECI should be there on the resource page. It's kind of hard to navigate.
So that's what, yeah, so, like, so it says state, it says committee, and under that one, it doesn't.
It has another page that you go
General
to, and we changed, for some reason, the city of Laredo decided to change it. And I find it kind of clunky to navigate now, but there's a resource page that has, and it has ECI, and it has a lot of resources that are available online. But you know what? Yes, we need you out there.
Absolutely.
Right. You can be on
So,
Facebook.
so back to the question, there is nowhere for the 4-year-old age.
Yeah, there is. The school start at age 3.
Right, so she can take it to the school district and request the.
That's what I was saying, the education diagnosis, yeah.
It's not a medical diagnosis,
Yeah, so you need a.
Well, the medical diagnosis that they will
Well, I
give you,
told her to go
the
school
the
to get
medical
it.
diagnosis that you will get is pervasive developmental disorder. That's about as far as a pediatrician will go. They will not use the spectrum. But if you go to the schools, they have a responsibility to diagnose and have a program in place by age 3. So that's where you go for the diagnosis.
And well, in my case, I was seeking for medical diagnosis for insurance purposes. That-
Right.
That's what I was thinking.
So insurance will not take the PDD.
I'm sorry?
The insurance will not take PDD, pervasive developmental disorder, because that's what pediatricians do.
Yeah, they'll take it.
Don't take it.
It depends on the insurance.
So we're talking about
Proclamation from the we can get married with proclamations for ones when we go to City Hall and bring your subject matter down.
It's already September.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
It's already September, we need to do it. So, we'll get rid of stuff. Office, but I can say everything.
We'll take this back to the general, because she first meeting,
Okay.
right? Thank you for us to.
Are we adjourned? Is everybody, did everybody speak? Are we good? May I have a move to adjourn?
I move.
Thank
I
you.
second.
Okay, we're done.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.